In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make your own eucalyptus baby doll pouch. For this project, you'll need a sheet of wool felt, a felting needle, a felting mat, scissors, pins, roving yarn and twine. Start by printing off the template and cutting it out, and then transferring it onto the sheet of wool felt. You can either draw it on and then cut it out, or just cut around the paper of the template. When you've finished cutting it out, you should have a bottom part of the leaf and a top part. The bottom part has a little stem at the top. As you're cutting, make sure that both leaves end up having the same shape, and you can cut off any little bits that are not even. Eventually you'll have something that looks like this. Now it's time to get your felting mat and needles and roving yarn. We're going to start with the top part of the leaf. Get a tiny bit of brown yarn and start attaching it to the center of the leaf, like so. This is going to be the middle groove of the leaf. It's always handy to start with tiny bits and keep adding on. You can always add on more as you go. You can tuck a little bit to the back at the top and then turn it back around and keep on adding little bits of brown until you're happy with the thickness of the groove. I like to make the top a little bit wider than the bottom. So the further down the leaf you go, the less wool you use. Keep adding on little bits of wool, and if you like you can flip your leaf over and felt the back of it as well. Eventually you'll have the top leaf looking like this. Now get the bottom leaf and use the same brown roving yarn. Needle felt on the brown edges, groove and around the stem. As you go, just double check that the groove lines up with the top part of the leaf. It's going to take a little bit longer than when you did the top part of the leaf because you've got all the edges to cover as well as the stem. Keep adding on layer after layer as you go. For the stem, we're going to wrap around little strands of yarn like you see in the video. Keep adding on small brown strands until the whole stem is covered. Now we're going to fold the stem to make a loop. Attach the loop at the back by needle felting it thoroughly. Now you should have something that looks like this. Keep felting the brown layers until you're happy with the final result. Get the front part of the leaf and start needle felting it onto the back part along the edges, making sure that it's positioned correctly at the top of the leaf. Felt it along all the edges until secure, making sure you felt at the back of the leaf as well as the front of the leaf. As you felt the edges in place, you'll see a little pouch appear at the top of the leaf. Keep needle felting it along all the edges until it feels secure. Your pouch is almost done. We're just going to keep shaping the edges of the leaf with more brown roving yarn. Eventually you'll have a pouch that looks something like this. Now we're going to start making the little doll. Get a strand of skin tone roving yarn about 3 by 12 centimeters. We're going to turn this into a moustache shape by tying it in the middle with a tiny strand of roving yarn. Get a very narrow strand of roving yarn about 0.5 centimeters and use that to tie the moustache in the center, like so. Take off any excess bits of wool. When you have your moustache shape ready, give it a little comb with your needle. You want to make sure this is as smooth as possible. Put aside a very narrow strand of the same color roving yarn, so about 0.5 centimeters. We'll be using that later. Get another strand of skin tone roving yarn and start rolling it into a little ball like so. Needle felt it until it's firm and round. This is going to be the inside of the head. It might take a little while until it's firm enough, but don't worry, you'll get there. The ball should be about 1.5 centimeters in diameter. Now we're going to get the moustache shape we made and a little strand. We're going to wrap the little ball inside the moustache. This part is a little fiddly and it might take a couple of turns until you get it. Gently wrap the ball in the moustache and hold it firm at the base of the ball. As you hold it, you can use your other hand to start wrapping around the little strand, which is going to shape the neck. Keep wrapping it around until the shape of the neck has formed. When you're happy with the size of the neck, you can start needle felting it on at the very base, making sure that everything is nice and secure. With the head ready, get a color of wool you'd like to use for the body and start wrapping a small strand around the base of the neck. A little tip from me, when you're wrapping the wool, try to remember to always wrap it in the same direction. Slowly wrap the wool downwards and felt around the skin tone yarn. Keep adding on layers like this to build up the body of the doll. You can add other colours if you want. I decided to use grey for the underlay, and I'm going to put over another layer of green later. But it's totally up to you what colours you'd like to use for your doll. Just keep adding on layers and layers of wool and felting it on to shape the body as you go. You'll notice that the body is starting to take shape and it's actually getting bigger in size than the head of the doll. Go ahead and keep on adding layers to your doll. Make sure to needle felt from all sides and angles until the body is firm. Keep felting it until you're happy with the shape and size and so that it fits inside the pouch. When you're ready, you can start adding on tiny bits of your desired hair tone. I decided to go with a very dark brown, but it's totally up to you what colour you want to use for your special doll. Add on more bit by bit all around the head. Felt it on all sides, but just be careful not to poke through the face area, especially when poking through from the back of the head, as this can cause little spots to appear in the face. Keep on building up the hair until you're happy with the results. The next step is optional, but you can cut out a tiny shape like this out of felt for a little hat. Make sure the base, which is the straight part, is big enough to go around the head of the doll. From all sides, felt the hat on, but again be careful not to poke through the face. Attach and close up at the back of the hat. Yay, your little friend is done! You can slide him or her into the pouch and see how cute it looks. Just one last step, which is looping through some twine or string for hanging. And there you go, your eucalyptus baby is ready. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I would love to see your beautiful creations.